Hey, everybody. Tim here. Awfully excited today for what you'll be treated to on this. Look what's scrolling down below here. 40th anniversary of Purple Rain. 40 years. That's the album, which I understand came out in June, and the movie, which came out in July. And an old friend, colleague, and house DJ at Paisley Park in the Prince era is joining me this morning. Got some stories to tell. And even a new development since I teased this particular broadcast. Somebody got a hold of me with a local Prince story that I can't wait to tell. The DJ, wedding officiant, IT guy, DJ Michael Holtz, getting your cup of joe.
Good morning, Tim. How are you?
Good to see you, my man. We go back a long time.
We do.
Look at this. Look at this office with. I'm shocked that it's decorated in Prince memorabilia.
Are you shocked?
I'm shocked. The biggest Prince fan that I know personally, and I know some pretty big Prince fans. He's the biggest Prince fan.
Yeah, and I would probably say in Prince fandom, I'm probably way down versus.
There are bigger Prince.
Most interesting, yes. You know, when you definitely get into the Prince realm of fandom, there's quite a scale.
That guitar on the wall there, is that a playable guitar?
It's playable. It's not like a his, but it's a replica. It's playable.
Okay.
It's from it's a cymbal guitar from the gold era that he.
What was the gold era?
The gold era was started in like the mid 90s, 94, 96. And actually that's when I first started going out to Paisley Park at 16 years old. And right.
I mean, I don't know what's going on there.
One of the safest places to be when you're 16 years old.
Yeah. You know, that was the era. I don't know if you ever saw the video that I posted a few months ago where I felt ashamed that and I think you were working at the station. I'm like, you didn't even play any of the hits. How dare he? And now I'm like, oh, after he passed away, and I really dove into the non-hit stuff.
Yeah, it was the piano performance, right? That he was playing. Yes,
in Summertime on the stage in a jazzy version, calling up G. I'm like, oh,
yes,
dude. Well, I was still in my 30s at that time. No, not even.
I have a story about that too. I was when I was out at Paisley Park DJing, I was all set up and stuff, and he came up on stage and he was playing the piano, and he's like, "Hey DJ, give me some orchestra music." And I'm like, "Okay." So I'm picking from a wedding something. He's like, "Yes." So I'm playing this wedding orchestra music. And then he's playing the piano, testing it out, and he's done. He comes walking down. He was like, "Thank you, wrong key." I'm like, okay, wrong key.
All right. Hey, DJ. Not everybody has had Prince call out to you, even if it wasn't by name. Hey, DJ.
Right.
We'll get into that. I want to point out, you see some of these comments. Look at Purple Hearts from Melissa.
Woo, hey Melissa.
You can be part of the live video in the comments. Now, a lot of people, in fact, the majority of people watch later, and you can still comment and we'll see them. But right now, to be brought up on the screen as part of the show, if you have any questions, what's it like? Like I went to Paisley Park. What didn't I see, Michael? What's going on there? You got any questions or comments you'd like to add? Right here on the Facebook feed live. Now, do I remember right? Are you a Painesville guy?
I am.
Yeah.
Yep.
How do I remember that?
Yeah, I graduated '96 from Painesville. Went and did the broadcast journalism at Brown College in Minneapolis, and found my way back to the local area for about 2.5 years.
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. Was I program director at that point, or how? What
you?
Did we switch?
No.
Hire you?
Yes, you did not hire me. So, but hey.
I wasn't in charge of hiring.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Great. So you did hire.
But what I do remember, and well, first of all, this was from that era. So
it was.
Left to right there, you got Laura Mackey, and then me. Who's the character drawer on this? What's with my forehead on this?
Yeah, I think was that some like future casting or something maybe with your forehead? No.
That's it. The show is over. Mike D leaning on the radio, Mary Ellen, Melanie, who's still in the area in the back. They captured our essences beautifully.
They did.
Because there you sit on a teeny tiny little red Corvette wearing NPG on the shirt, the Prince symbol on the hat. So clearly, even at this point, you're a huge Prince fan.
Yes.
But the remarkable part about this story in the late 90s is when I had taken over as program director. So when you were leaving, I did a memo to the staff, got to inform you, overnight guy Michael is leaving, da-da-da. But now I did a close-up at the very bottom. Prince, I was kidding around.
I know.
Prince mourns Michael's departure from Q102, but on the inside, he's celebrating the fact that Michael will be close by to DJ his parties. I was just being silly.
Yeah, and I was like, never in a million years is that going to happen.
And it did. So it was from leaving the radio station to, again, so you used to hang out at Paisley Park.
Yeah.
You just push a DJ aside. Hey, let me show you how it's done.
No. What basically had happened was, as my relationships grew with people out there by going out there, one of his assistants had known I DJ'd and did weddings, and so I had done some events prior. Actually, one of those events was an album release party for him, and because he was in LA during the time, and it was the Minneapolis Sound Lotus Flowers, like a double LP album. And then I was a member of one of the chat forums, Prince.org forums, and everyone was on there like, hey, like this album is coming out. It's Minneapolis Sound, and nothing's happening here in Minneapolis. It's all seemed to be happening out in LA because that's where he was at the time. And he had a house out there, 3121 and all that he had, rented out to have parties out there for the elite. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take it upon myself. I'm going to get a venue downtown Minneapolis, and I'm going to put this out there. And I kid you not, as soon as I put that out there, all of a sudden, ring, ring, hello? Like, yes, is this Michael Holtz? I'm like, yeah, this is Prince's assistant. We see that
Oh, they're mad. They're going to be mad.
Yeah, no, because I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, he was a computer geek. He would cruise the forums, all that stuff. He'd go under different names and all this, and kind of feel out what the fans are talking about and stuff. So he saw it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, then I got a list of, hey, how are you doing this? How are you representing him? What are the things are you planning on doing? So I had to have this whole list go, right? So I submitted it to his assistant, And now it's like, I got 2 weeks before. Now we're coming up on a week before this party, and I haven't heard anything back. And I've, like, okay, am I gonna, is something gonna happen? Like, no, you can't have this party, or he doesn't want, doesn't approve, or anything. And it was like, about 4 days before she gets a hold of me, and she goes, he really loves your idea. Thanks for, supporting him and his work. And is it okay if I and his sister attend the event? And I'm like, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
and
that kind of,
like, what was the first gig at Paisley Park? How did that come about?
First gig. So that was in 2014. I got a call April Fool's night, 1 a.m. in the morning. April Fool's morning. So I'm like, who's calling me? It's, hello, is this Michael? I'm like, yeah, it's like 1 in the morning. Who is this? Like, well, this is Prince's assistant. And are you available this weekend? I'm like, what? Like, really, who is this? Because everyone knows I'm a Prince fan, and I'm like, seriously, like, it's 1 in the morning. Don't be, playing around. And yeah, and then she was like, he's wanting to bring the parties back to Paisley Park. It's going to be Paisley Park after dark, and he wants to try you out. Are you available this weekend? And I'm like, yeah, I'm available.
After that family reunion, I am going.
Yeah. So now, like, 1 a.m. in the morning, I am so just like, the adrenaline's flowing. I'm, waking up my wife. She's like, what? Like, she's not even believing it. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I got to get ready for in 4 days, 4 days or so to go out to Paisley Park and be in there. So it was such a interesting experience to be like, because I've always hung out in line and saw other respected DJs that I've known to DJ out at Paisley Park, like DJ Dudley D, Lenka Paris. I always see them, walk into the door. I'm like, oh man, how cool of an experience is that. Brother Jules, is he was one of the original DJs out at Paisley Park. And I'm like, those people were kind of ones that I really like enjoyed, listening to and getting that experience, that Paisley Park feel. So I'm like, I got some big shoes to fill here going out there. And then just walking in there, and then, no one's in there, and you're like, and you're always kind of like, okay, where is he? Is he, just said that,
He's out in his jammies and his slippers.
Yeah. And I just remember that first night though, just once the doors open and and then like start playing the music, just the energy feel like, all right, I'm in this, it was amazing.
This must be a little closer to that era here, looking at the young man. Please tell me you still use that setup with real turntables.
I do. And there's a story. There's a story about the real turntables.
Oh.
So, and why I went and got them is, so one night I am out at Paisley Park, and I'm bringing, well, here, I'll just show you.
Oh.
I'm just bringing out a little, mixer like this, and there was a buzzing noise going on. And so, because he wanted to show a video that evening of one of his performances, so he had to check. He was checking where's this buzzing noise coming from? That was very, irritating him. And so he comes up to me. And he's like, "We need to check you, for sound. It's the buzzing noise coming from you." And I'm like, "Okay." So he's kind of hanging out there, and we're doing some sound checks. And he's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "This is my mixer." And he's like, "Ever tried turntables?" And I'm like, Prince, I'm like, I really haven't. It's just kind of been one of those natural things that I've just used, controllers. And he's like, sometimes you gotta go back to where it all started and get the feel of where it comes today. And I'm like, oh, okay. he walked away, right? And I'm like, I'm getting turntables, and I kid you not, I got the turntables, and then he's walking past me one night, and he sees I got the turntables on the table, and he just kind of gives me this. So he's walking like this. I mean, it's like he stops.
Yeah,
gives me a little nod, and then all of a sudden he's just kind of grooving up there, playing a little beat. And usually at that time, I'm kind of just letting them do their thing, the band and everything. I kind of lay back and enjoy the show. I mean, that was one of the perks. But all of a sudden, he's like, "Hey, DJ."
Hey, DJ.
I'm like, he's like, "Put some scratchy scratch on the beat." I'm like, "Oh gosh." So here I am. I'm like, we're going all in this.
You know the beauty about that is that he didn't freak out like, where'd that noise is coming from your crap? Get up.
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear. You're just like,
and again, it's organic, right? It's something. I mean, he always did things like that where it's just like all of a sudden you're like you're involved in something where it's like, whoa, I didn't know that was going to happen. And I remember talking to one of the band members, after the performance. I'm like, man, I didn't know I was going to be part of the band tonight. And they're like, hey, that's how you roll. He gets comfortable with you, So
that's 40th anniversary of Purple Rain scrolling there. You would have been how old in 1984?
6.
Did you see it at
I did.
6, 7 years old?
Well, I probably saw it. I mean, I heard the album, right? So, because my older brother, he's 14 years older than I am. So I remember listening to the album. I mean, when Doves Cry was, once that hit, it was like, whoa, what is this? But I do remember later on when it came out on VHS, and then when the Lake Minnetonka part came up, then I was asked to go somewhere else,
Oh yes, I heard they filmed some different versions of that depending on which reminds me, somebody just wrote here, Alyssa again. She's a big Prince fan. Come to the famous Henderson, Minnesota Tuesday car show where he filmed That Ain't Lake Minnetonka scene.
Yes, yeah, that's in Henderson. Yes, yep.
Which is southwest of the cities,
right? Right, yeah, right down 169, and yeah.
So that's where that.
Yes, that's where that happened.
Allegedly Lake Minnetonka, but it was.
But that was just a river.
Okay. Well, talk to the car show people down there. Maybe you can go spin some records.
There you go.
A lot of good. There's Judy. Good morning. So, Damon, do you remember the name of Prince's bodyguard, the big guy?
Chick. Big Chick. Yeah.
Chick.
Big Chick.
With
the gray beard.
Who must have sold timeshares at Breezy Point north of Brainerd. Really? That was his gig after the Prince era? Maybe. David's a friend of mine. He wouldn't prank me. I got two quick things. One is when I teased this, somebody got a hold of me. So make sure you stay to the end here. We're getting close. He got a hold of me and said, "Hey, I got a local Prince story." I'm like, "Okay, I got to call him," and I did. And I recorded what his Prince story was. So I got that before you go. But also, when you talk about those late night parties at Paisley Park, I have to tell everybody, because I also wrote this in the comments of the event yesterday. When Michael got a hold of me, said, "Tim, going to be a party tonight at Paisley Park. You should come out. Pretty sure Prince will make an appearance, once in a lifetime. You should come out." So I'm like, "Ooh, cool." Yeah. And this was what? A Tuesday? I think,
yeah.
Right?
Bro. Yes.
Tuesday night. I'm working mornings. Now, at that point, I was still driving back and forth to Montevideo, so I'm at 4 a.m. I said, "Cool. Well, what time does it start?" I'm thinking, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock. And I think he said, 11, midnight, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Midnight for sure. I'm like,
Yep.
Midnight. So I got to get to Chanhassen. And then however long I spend there and experience and then get back.
Yeah.
And then what do I do? Just drive straight to the radio station, go on the air with no sleep. I'm like,
I
dude, I can't do it. One of the biggest regrets of my
yeah. Well, you remember when I had worked a Saturday shift, you do the morning, I would be at noon. And literally there were some of those shifts I'd come in, you're like, dude, you look so tired. I'm like, yeah, I just came straight from Paisley Park.
to be young again.
All right.
What? Are we going to be done by 8:30? Dude, I know.
Well, you know, to his benefit, he actually did, when in 2014 and stuff, he did start them a little earlier, which was about 9 o'clock, and then they went till about 1 o'clock. But there was sometimes I get called out there, and I don't know when I'm going to leave if I had to do a private party or whatnot. So
in 14, you'd have been what, 52? See, man, I got to get to bed earlier these days, man.
Right.
So I gotta share this. At first I wasn't. I'm gonna tease it, and then I'm gonna do a separate, and I still might create a reel or something out of this, because when I posted that you were going to be joining me, the house DJ for Prince, I used to work with him, and he texted me. His name is Philip Schultz. He's got an antique shop here on South First Street, and he's had all kinds of businesses. He's quite an entrepreneur. And so I called him and recorded. And one of those businesses was purchasing an old inn up in Spicer, which is on the site of O'Neill's, the upstairs. So it's not even a minute and a half long. Like I said, I was gonna I'll save that, but no, it's a minute and a half.
Yeah,
we'll do this, get your reaction, and then we'll be on our way. Here is Philip Schultz.
I am the original owner and the one that started O'Neill's in Spicer. And then we also had the Green Lake Inn, which was upstairs. The Green Lake Inn was a bed and breakfast. When I bought that, it was actually closed down because Frank Morrell owned it. It was called Morrell's, the bar was. And the upstairs was called the Rose Manor. So Frank died, we bought it, and then we redid the whole, literally everything.
Okay, hold on a second now. Anybody remember that? It's like a bed and breakfast in Spicer. You can comment here. The story continues.
That would have been in 1995. So what we found out was the very first registered guest when it was the Rose Manor was Prince.
Wow.
It's what?
Right.
So they've got the registration for Prince, but now the story goes on. And
we had the reservation form. We had it because when I sold it to John Olson back in 2000, that was in the roll top desk with all the registration forms and stuff for the people that stayed there and the registration book and what have you. But there's a kick to it. Prince didn't show up. He paid for it. So it was a snowstorm. He couldn't make it.
What would he have been doing?
Well, we don't really know, other than we know he had reservations to stay there at what was called the Rose Manor.
And so the date was
prior to when I bought it, so it was probably early 90s.
In the winter.
Yep.
What was Prince going to be doing in Spicer? That's fantastic.
But yeah, he was the first registered guest at the Rose Manor in Spicer, Minnesota.
Wow.
So that's my story about Prince.
Wow. That is very interesting.
That's what I said. Well, Michael's from Painesville. That's not far up the road.
Right.
I said, what? Was he going to go down with a guitar and play in the corner now where they still have music at O'Neill's, just, play some tunes? Or did he know somebody in Spicer?
Yeah.
That story.
Or was it something for a movie location or, Purple Rain 2? I don't know.
There you go. I'll play it again.
The very first registered guest was Prince.
In Spicer, Minnesota.
Wow. That's it's crazy. It's just the stories just keep coming in that you just never even knew. Crazy.
I was going to say goodbye, but yesterday when we were chatting, kind of setting this up quickly, you said there's an event coming up that you are going to be part of this.
I'm going to be part of it. I don't know what time that I'll be DJing, but I was honored to be asked by Paisley Park to be one of the DJs for this big block party going on downtown Minneapolis, Saturday, June 22nd. It's going to be down by where the Prince mural is, the A parking lot by the Target Center, First Avenue area.
Yeah.
So it's an all-day, So it's an all-day event. There'll be other live acts, other DJs, I believe also will be involved. So, I mean, it's going to be a great time just to celebrate Prince, because one of the things that Prince did was he did these celebrations at Paisley Park in the early 2000s, which were like a week-long event based on an album, or he would have different, artists come and play, and then he would probably cap it off with a big performance of himself. And so Paisley Park has continued that tradition. And this year the celebration is from the 20th to the 24th. And well, it's 40th anniversary of Purple Rain. So that's what is all happening. Like that evening too, Morris Day and the Time are playing, and New Power Generation is playing at the State Theater. The Revolution is going to be at First Ave and all. Yeah. So it's everybody. And it's insane. Like, I went to an event last week. It was Maite, which is Prince's first wife, with Live for One Another charities, which was something her and Prince had created when they were together. And so she had a bowling event, and there was, fans coming in from the UK, all over the States, and they're here the whole month. So they're here for, his birthday, and now they're staying for the 40th anniversary. So June is a huge month here in Minnesota for the Purple One.
Hey, hook me up with Maite. We can give her a little plug on her foundation.
There you go. Definitely.
Okay. So that's on June 22nd. Now, I want to say, that's at Wilmer Fast time, but, wherever your loyalties lie.
There you go.
Oh, my man. It's always good to talk to you. It seems like it's been a few years.
It has.
If you find out exactly when
5 years.
5 years.
Since Katie's wedding, yes.
Dude, the grooves, man. He doesn't just spin them. He dances with the let's give you a little love here. To the Max Entertainment.
There you go.
Facebook. You can do your weddings and parties and poolside barbecues and whatnot. Thank you, my friend.
Yo, my pleasure.
And
nice
enjoy the rest of this celebration of Prince. We'll talk again.